Welcome to another episode of the Bottom of the Stream Movie Show. My name is Adam.
My name's Nick. Welcome. It's the weekly movie show where we dredge the bottom of the Netflix stream and see if we can surface with a hidden gem.
We do. Every week we go down there, see what we can come up with and see what we find.
Yeah.
And see if there's any gems lurking down there.
Like last week.
Like last week, we almost found one. And this week we have. So this week is my wildcard week.
Oh, of course.
Season 8 wildcard. Every season, me and Nick and our Patreons get to play wildcard, which means the films are normally randomly picked, but once a season we pick the film that we want to watch, go through it as a normal movie show and see if we can get to the top of the stream tables.
You too could do that if you join our Patreon.
Absolutely.
So check it out.
There'll be some details on how you can do that towards the end of the episode. So stick around. But this week we are talking about a movie that has 2 titles. Even
or
on
one
Netflix.
really long one?
Or
I'm
one
not
really
sure.
long one, maybe. No, I have got some history on the title. So the Netflix have this down as The Theatre of Fear, aka The Midnight Horror Show.
Okay.
The film was made as The Midnight Horror Show.
Okay.
But the title was changed for the DVD release in the UK to The Theatre of Fear. But Andrew Jones wants it called The Midnight Horror Show, so Netflix compromised and called it The Theatre of Fear, aka The Midnight Horror Show, so people could find it.
Right.
Because it was once released on DVD. It actually went to the top of the HMV UK charts.
Wow.
Which is crazy. But they had like a straight to DVD charts.
They did, yeah.
And yeah, that's what it went to the top of the straight to DVD chart. And like most of his films did. All of the Robert films did as well. I'm not sure, but I think this is definitely the 7th of one of Andrew Jones's movies that I've seen. I don't think there's many other people in the world that could probably not say that. But let's get through it. It's from 2014, so it's quite old now. It's nearly 10 years old. It's a 15. It runs for exactly 1.5 hours, 1 hour and 30 minutes, and it's currently rated a 3.3 out of 10 on IMDb.
I'm going to say it didn't run for that long. I think it was about 1 hour and 17 minutes.
Oh, is it?
I'm sure it was.
Okay, well, it says 1 hour and 30 on here and on here, so
I'm sure. Not that it matters.
You might be right,
but I'm sure it wasn't that long.
Okay,
Carry on.
I didn't check the runtime. I've checked it on IMDb and on Netflix, but that's what it says. This film stars a guy called Lee Bane. He plays Janus Moreau.
Yeah.
Lee Bane's second appearance on the show.
It is.
You'll find that with some of this cast. He was also in Werewolves of the Third Reich, which was a film that we've done before by the same director. He's actually in pretty much every single one of Andrew Jones's films.
Sure.
I imagine he's panicking about his career right now. I don't know. Also stars a guy called Jared Morgan. He plays Dr. Demius Moreau. Also his second appearance on the show. Yeah. Also was in Werewolves of the Third Reich. Played the bartender from the beginning of the film. He's also in The Nun, which is like quite a big horror film.
Yeah, it is.
He's in that. And also stars the man with the wonderful hair, Kevin Horsham, plays Duke Enright.
Yeah.
Who has the second best hair we've ever seen on the show, I think. I think that's fair to say.
I just thought he looked like Keith Lemon.
Also fair. Also was in The Northman.
Oh,
which was a big movie release recently.
I could see his profile fitting that. Yeah, the casting for that movie.
Yeah, he looks like that sort of role.
Yeah. And
he fits it well. Written and directed by the aforementioned Andrew Jones. Unfortunately, Andrew Jones passed away in January of this year. So this is why we're doing this film as like a tribute to him, I guess. That's why I've picked it as my wild card. Responsible for all 5 of the Robert films, which are shit. We've done them in we do watch-alongs in the Discord. Check out the links for the Discord in the show notes below. We watch bad movies in the Discord. That's what we do some Sunday nights. We've actually done all 5 Robert movies, and the first one's moderately okay, and the last one's okay, but the ones in the middle are rough, like really rough.
And as you said, Werewolves of the Third Reich.
Yes,
which
is bad.
It's not good.
There's no werewolves in it.
There's 2. Who you never see.
There's 2 minutes of...
There's 2 implied werewolves.
There's 2 implied werewolves. They should be called the implied werewolves of the Third Reich. But there's not even any Third Reich in it. We have a bit of fun with these movies. That's what we're here to do. We have these movies are not meant... They're not made to be Oscar-winning movies.
I think
they're production line movies. And you have to take them as what they are. and you just have to enjoy them and have a bit of fun with them.
I don't have to enjoy it.
You don't have to enjoy it, no, and I'm pretty sure you haven't. You have to have a little bit of fun. We have to have a little bit of fun with these movies.
Sure.
We have no disrespect to anybody who's in them or anybody who makes them at all. But
no, because we've watched loads.
Yeah, because we've watched loads of them, and there's something about them that I really love. I love watching movies like this. Shall we go? Shall we start?
Yeah.
Have you got a one-word review?
Caravan.
Caravan. Yeah. Most of it's set in a caravan.
It's like they'd the off days of Taskmaster filming.
Yeah.
I know they don't cross over. Don't come at me. It's like,
yeah.
Can we borrow the caravan to film this horror movie?
Oh, that's amazing. I wonder if that's exactly what's happened here. Where's this film start, Nick?
I have no idea because I haven't got my notes.
Oh, yeah.
So,
we should probably mention Nick's brought the wrong notebook with him.
Absolutely shambolic.
So Nick's going to do an episode on a couple of weeks ago movie.
I've made some really good notes. But they were possibly the best notes I've ever made.
But they're at home.
But they're not here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't
have two notebooks on the go. That is my
definitely
advice.
Not. And if you're going to
you,
don't record outside of your own house.
Sure. or don't just rush straight out and pick up a notebook.
Yeah, Nick has been in a rush now. He's still wearing his work lanyard.
That's right.
He loves a lanyard.
I do love a lanyard.
Do you want me to tell you where this film starts?
Let me see if I can remember.
Okay.
There's a couple.
No.
Oh, crap.
Something happens before that.
Balls. Okay. Where does this film start?
This film starts when Dr. Damius Moreau introduces us to the show.
Oh, you're talking about credits.
Pre-credits.
The credit sequence.
Pre-credit sequence. So he comes out as if
if you want to start at the start, that's where it starts.
That's where it starts. Yeah. He comes out as if he's like a ringmaster of a circus.
Yeah.
And he introduces us to the show. Welcome to the show. This is not the sort of normal show that you would expect. Blah, 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 blah. Welcome to the Midnight Horror Show.
Yeah.
Then the credits start. And what's potentially the greatest song I've ever heard.
Oh my God, this song. Fuck me. What musical style would you say the theme song to this movie is?
Early 2000s rock.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean...
It reminded me of like Stained or Creed or people like that.
Like Puddle of Mud or something nondescript like that.
I'm going to get a clip of it and play it at the end of the show. So if you want to stick around.
I will say, look.
I thought it was fucking brilliant. It's a proper earworm.
It's an awful
fucking
song.
Awful.
And the sound quality of the recording of this song is... I don't think it was a choice.
No.
Put it that way. It sounds like it was recorded... on a tin can phone.
It's on Spotify.
I'm sure it is.
It's on Spotify. It was released. This one was a soundtrack on Spotify.
It's one song. It's on the end credits as well for 10 minutes.
It is. The full song plays at the beginning and the end of the film. The literal full song.
I want to know, did Andrew Jones write and perform the song?
He didn't write or perform it. It was written and recorded for this film.
Obviously,
because
I didn't think there was an existing song called.
Written and performed by a guy called Bobby Cole.
Okay, that sounds like a made-up name.
It does sound like a made-up name, but I thought it was great. I've even written here tune. I'll play some of it at the end of the show, and then a couple appear.
Yeah.
So they're walking up towards... They're on their way to a Midnight Horror Show. They're on a date. They're going to a thing called the Midnight Horror Show, and she's wondering why it's on so late.
Yeah.
It's Midnight Horror Show.
Yeah. And that is the quality of the writing.
I want to get going straight away. You said the sound recording of the song was terrible. The sound mixing in this film is awful.
It's so quiet.
It's so quiet.
My TV, I didn't know that my TV had this many numbers in its volume. And it was still so quiet.
It's so quiet. And the background noises are really loud.
Yeah.
It's been really mixed really bad. I think it's been recorded in camera. I think it's just the microphone from the camera.
So, yeah.
But it sounds terrible.
Yeah.
It's straining to hear what they're saying at some points. So I will put that out there straight away.
Have the subtitles on.
Yeah, 100%. There's these couple are on a date. They get to this
car park.
It's supposed to be like this circus tent thing, I guess, but it's definitely like a school hall or something. There's like 4 other people there sitting in the crowd.
Yeah, the show's already started. These guys are late.
They missed the beginning.
They know what time it starts.
Yeah, it starts at midnight. It's in the fucking name. There's like 4 other people in the audience, which are all incidentally crew members from the film. They're just extras, unpaid extras. And there's a magician on the stage. This is Apollo, the first member of the Moreau family that we
Would you get if you take the magic hour magician? Ian.
Right? What? Is that a dad joke?
Yeah, it's just a joke.
I likes it.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's a magician. And what do magicians ask for when they start a magic show?
They would like a volunteer from the audience.
Would like
quite
a volunteer.
often.
This lady who's just arrived hasn't even taken her coat off yet, but she's like
Angela or something.
Angela
like
is exactly what
yes!
she's called. Well done. Angela gets picked up to become.
It's very young for an Angela.
Yeah, it's an unusual name for a younger lady, isn't it?
Say.
Yeah, you're right. Anyway, she gets called up onto the stage. She's going to be the lady who gets put in the box.
Yeah.
Whilst loads of knives get stabbed in the box.
Sure, we've seen this trick.
We've seen this trick hundreds of times before. She gets locked in the box. He starts stabbing the box with various sized knives and machetes and
rusty swords.
Oh
no!
Yeah,
it's all gone wrong. He says.
Pretends that the show's all gone wrong. The crowd are not buying it at all.
Angela's
okay? Boyfriend's sweating a little bit.
Yeah.
He opens the door. Lo and behold, Angela's not in the box anymore. However, this is not the end because now she's tied to a table.
Yes.
Backstage.
She certainly is.
And Dr. Demius Moreau,
who's the daddy,
the dad of the family, Apollo's father, is asking her if she believes in God.
Yeah.
And he's saying, as a man of science, I shouldn't believe in God, but I do believe in God. Blah, blah, blah. And all the time he's chopping her up like Dexter.
Yeah.
She's got this room full of polyphene and he's chopping her up and he starts preaching at her. And she screams, proper good horror movie scream, and the screen fades to black. And the second time in this movie, the title card.
Yeah, twice. 2 title cards.
Yeah, 2
Why
title
is that?
cards. Same one. So both say the Midnight Horror Show, which is incidentally now not the name of this movie. So 2 incorrect title cards show up.
I love it.
Yeah. We cut back in, and the boyfriend. I don't think we ever got a name for the boyfriend. He's standing outside waiting for her because he's like not.
He's not waiting inside.
So he's not questioned why she's not come back from her disappearance.
Yeah, so he's waited to the end of the whole show, which presumably are further acts after the magician, because they've just
there's a whole family of
for
performers
the start of the show. He's gone
Unless
outside.
they missed all of it and only turned up for the end of the show.
Yeah, he's gone back outside. He's waltzing around the car park with her coats.
Yeah.
So he's not raised an alarm that she never came back to a seat
after the magic act had finished.
He's just sat there and watched it on his own. And then he goes back in
when all the lights are off.
Oh, where's my girlfriend?
Yeah, I did.
Sure, I came here with someone.
So he goes back in and tries to find her, and he's going through there's nobody there now. It's all dark.
Yeah, they switched all the lights.
It's all been shut down. He opens a curtain, and he finds her dead body.
Yeah,
just there.
And then the title card comes. No, it doesn't.
Then we meet the rest of the family.
Yeah.
So they're having a row. They're all row. They don't get on. None of these people get on. But they're all psychopaths. So there's a reason why they don't get on.
Yeah.
This is where I've written the sound mix is shocking in this because you cannot understand what they're saying. They're basically having a row about swearing. Apollo and Venus are the younger siblings in this family.
Sure. They're like the 2 closest in age, I think.
Yes, I think so. And they don't really get on. They argue. They bicker a lot as young siblings.
Because Venus is Dad's favourite. She's the only girl.
Yeah, she's the only girl of a family of 3 sons and a girl.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's going to be the favourite.
I just because I was possibly a bit bored and my notes were that good. I didn't pick up what Apollo's name was, who was the magician.
It doesn't get mentioned until quite late into
the
film.
Doesn't it?
No.
Yeah, so I have called him Magic Ian all the way through my notes, just to let you know.
It doesn't get mentioned until quite a lot later in the film. The rest of them all get called by their names.
Yeah.
And it was like, must say this guy's name at some point. And I couldn't look it up because nobody's got any pictures on IMDb, so I didn't know who it was. But yeah, it does get mentioned later on. And then we meet Lee Bane's character for the first time.
Yeah.
This is Janus. Janus is the ventriloquist of the family. He also has a doll that talks to him.
Yeah, and this is a classic horror trope. So he's got 2 personalities.
Yeah, one's the doll and one's himself.
Yeah, battling each other.
Yeah.
For control of his vessel.
And basically, they don't they don't get on also. The doll is a psycho, and Janus is probably the most normal one of the family. Or this personality side of him is the most normal one of the family.
When that personality is in charge,
Yes. The doll doesn't want to go in its box. He wants it to go in his box, basically. Then the Doctor and Apollo and Venus are...
you missed the other child. You've not mentioned the other child.
I don't think he's been in it yet.
Oh, has he not? I thought they were all sat around the table.
No, they weren't, not at this point. But
okay.
My favourite child has not been mentioned yet. At this point, the Doctor and Apollo and Venus are taking the what was that? Taking the bags of body parts to throw in the sea.
Yeah. Yes.
So there's a suitcase and some bags that we never see.
They're arguing about disposing of Angela's
body,
dismembered body, like your kids would argue about, I don't know, doing the washing up.
Yeah, it's just a chore to them. It's just what they do. We never saw the boyfriend again. We don't know what happened to him.
No, that's true.
I presume he got cut up as well in the end.
Yeah.
Because there was quite a few bags.
Yeah.
Let's just say that's what happened. So Apollo throws the suitcase in the sea.
Yeah, there's a mixture of like bin bags and like a suitcase.
And the dad wanted the suitcase.
He's like, why have you chucked my suitcase in the sea?
That's my suitcase, my favourite suitcase. Why have you chucked it in the sea for? It was your mum's suitcase. So he makes Apollo go into we never see the sea.
No.
They're not anywhere near the sea.
They're still in the car park.
They're still in this car park, yeah. But he makes him go and get it. It's basically just another way to pick on Apollo and let Venus win the argument. And then we cut back to the circus, car park, whatever you want to call it, and a talent agent shows up.
Oh, he does, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love how I'm like, I'm basically doing this show to you this week. You're sitting back all relaxed. And I'm basically doing this show to somebody who has watched the movie and he's now remembering it as it goes along. A talent agent shows up and he wants to make Janus a star. He's like, I watched the show tonight. I enjoyed the show tonight, but you are the one that I want on my box.
Yeah, and Janus says, well, what about everyone else?
Yeah.
And the talent agent's like, well, they're okay, but you're the talent.
You're the talent, yeah. And he basically gives him his card and says, give me a call. I can make you a star. This time next year, you'll be a millionaire.
Yeah.
So Janus takes his card and we cut away. And then they're all sitting around the table. So this is the next morning.
Yeah.
Everybody's sitting around the table.
In the caravan.
So it's a very small table.
Eating alphabeti spaghetti.
And we meet Trink for the first time.
Yeah.
Or Trinkulo, as he's known.
He's a clown.
He's a clown. A permanent clown.
Sure.
He wears his clown makeup at all times.
Because he's got
he has
like
a scarred up
a
face.
mangled face.
Yeah. Which we find out how that happened later. I think Trinkulo might be my favourite name ever.
Okay.
I think I really like that name. He's my favourite character in this
Ironic,
film,
since he's the worst actor in this movie.
Oh god, yeah, he's the worst actor by far. But as a character, he's really good. The character's it's a really neat idea for the character, the permanent clown who's a psycho.
Yeah.
I like that.
You ever heard of the Joker?
And Pennywise, and yeah, there's loads of them. But I don't know. There's something about this character I really liked in this movie. I don't know what it was.
What I will say for that character, is at least they went to the effort of giving him a bit of a backstory.
He had a backstory. He was probably the main character in the family.
He should have been the main character.
We spent more time with him than we spent with anybody else, I guess.
Yeah, possibly.
But you're right. It's not a good performance.
No,
it's not a good performance. But I don't know if he was playing it like that because he played it kind of like, I don't know, kind of like he was in.
Especially the scenes where it was just him and the lady he meets later on. They were both just, I mean...
It really reminded me of somebody. And
to say there was a charisma vacuum would...
Yeah, I can't think who he was reminding me of.
Insulting vacuums.
I feel like it's like there's a comedy character somewhere in a sitcom buried somewhere that this character's reminding me of. And I can't think what it is. And it might come to me as I'm thinking. But I can't... But yeah, he played it with like no charisma whatsoever.
No.
I don't know if he hasn't got any charisma or if this is the way he's played the role, but I liked it. He wants to change the dad of the family, the doctor. I don't know really what the dad did. He didn't really have an act, I don't think.
He was like the ringmaster, I presume. Yeah,
he wants to change up Trink's act. He's like, I need you to make it more of a performance piece.
Yeah,
which is a funny thing to say to a clown, I think. But Trink's not really buying it. And that's what this whole conversation is.
And we never really saw what his act was, did we?
No, we never see him.
Oh no, we didn't.
I don't think we ever see him in full-on clown costume.
Mind you, we didn't see what Venus's act was either, did we?
She was a knife thrower. I don't think we ever saw it.
We never saw it, but no, it was in the credits.
Yes.
Apart from, she was also stripping.
Yes.
I'm not really sure why.
She was a burlesque knife thrower, maybe.
Fine.
The poster of this movie has a picture of Trink in full-on clown gear.
Yeah.
But he's never wears it in the film. He's always just half makeup, and that's it. But yeah, in the poster, he's a full-on clown. Okay. So I presume something's been cut. And then we have a rant about how Heinz used to make swastika-shaped pasta, and how Hitler loved the circus, and this is how they justify themselves of being the psychos that they are.
It's definitely like a... Excuse the clumsy phrasing. It's definitely like a Nazi theme in Andrew James.
Yeah, he loves it, doesn't he?
So I think just because you've got the costumes.
Yeah, you've got the costumes. Make Werewolves of the Third Reich. Make the middle three Robert films are all Nazi-based. And now this... For some reason, he's going about Hitler loves the circus. Incidentally, Heinz never did make swastika-shaped pasta.
Okay.
But it was an internet rumor that went around for quite a while that they actually made a statement and debunked. But they actually stopped selling in Germany altogether during the war.
Fair.
Obviously. I actually looked that up. Did some research.
You've got to do your fact-checking with these
checking.
movies.
Then we cut back to Janus and the doll. We did get a name for the doll, and I can't remember what it is.
Why wasn't it called Robert?
I don't know.
Should have called it Robert.
But this predates all the Robert films.
No, I know.
But yeah, you're right. Maybe if he did it
wouldn't
again, he would have done. Yeah. It would have been nice. It's actually a better looking doll than Robert was. Robert's an ugly motherfucker.
Apologies to all the Roberts.
Take that out of context if you want. I like it. The doll accuses Janus of wanting to leave the family. So they have a bit of an argument about Janus saying he doesn't want to leave the family. He clearly does want to. Yeah. And there's this hard argument going on. And it causes Janus to eventually call his agent or call this guy up and say, yeah, I want to sign for you.
Yeah.
I'm going to sign this contract.
Maybe
we cut
tomorrow.
straight there. This film's snappy. Yeah. This film's snappy.
Maybe
we cut
tomorrow.
straight there.
It's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. We'll cut straight to it. We're signing the contract. This is where he says this time next year you'll be a millionaire because he thinks he's Del Boy all of a sudden. And then we cut to Trink. Trink's going for a walk.
He's just moodily being a clown.
He's an emo clown
down a public footpath.
He's got a black hoodie on with his clown makeup. He's a creepy looking dude. If you met him in the alleyway, you wouldn't be happy. Yeah. And he sees a couple arguing, a young couple, and he also sees the guy smack the girlfriend.
Yeah,
punches her in the face and knocks her down. And this is when he steps in. The guy laughs at his makeup, obviously, as you would if you see a clown in out of context. It's funny. And then Trink just knocks him out.
He does.
Literally one punch.
Saves the damsel in distress.
Saves the girl, takes her home, walks the girl home, makes sure she's okay. And then he asks her out on a date. And this doesn't feel like the sort of thing that he does very often. He feels like a shy, quiet, retiring kind of guy. But he plucked up the courage and asked her out on a date. And she agrees to go on a date.
Yeah, she's like, let's go to a coffee shop.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, let's do it tomorrow.
Yeah, let's do it tomorrow. And he has a favourite coffee shop. He takes her there. Janus instantly has now got an audition.
Oh, yeah. Because I think the talent agent guy says to him, I've got you an audition on Thursday.
Yeah.
And then we're there.
Yeah, straight in.
It's Thursday already. It's quick.
Yeah, the guy says, I'll get you some work in the next few months, and then rings him the next day.
Yeah.
And then the audition's the day after that. It all happens very quickly. Janus messes up this audition is an understatement. He
self-sabotages.
The doll sabotages Janus, but obviously it's the same person.
Yeah.
He makes loads of child porn jokes. He makes all sorts of inappropriate jokes. Incidentally, there's a director cameo at this point. One of the guys on the panel was Andrew Jones.
Nice. Very Hitchcockian.
Yes. Janus then gets sacked by his talent agent.
Yeah, he's like, I can't work with you.
I can't work with you if you're going to do ventriloquist acts on child porn. That's just not a thing. This film's moving so fast at this point. It's like it just happens. Stuff just happens in this movie.
Yeah, and it's only an hour and 15 minutes long.
Yeah, there's no build up to any of it.
Probably 10 minutes of that is credits.
10 minutes of that is that song at either end. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, there's not a lot of backstory being built up.
There's nothing. It's flimsy.
Yeah. Trink goes on his date. He meets the girl. I think she's called Jenny.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
They go out on this coffee date, and we get some backstory on him at this point. He tells her how he got his facial scars, why he always wears his clown makeup. He basically got set on fire in a bar.
Which I thought was a good story, delivered by a good actor. It would have been interesting. This is he's just he tells her I got in a fight.
Yeah.
And I got glassed, and then they poured whiskey on me, and I was set alight.
Set on fire. That's how I got my scars.
And then he's like, wink, and she says, "Oh, I don't know how you could live with that, and how, what happened to the people who did that to you? It's disgusting." And he's like,
"Can't believe the
police." He literally looks at the camera and winks and says, "I think they might have got what they deserve."
That's exactly what he does. Yeah. Then we cut back to Venus and Apollo. They're arguing again. But this time, Venus was crying when Apollo walks in the room, and he does actually have a bit of concern on his face for her. And then Janus is crying because he's messed up his one chance to get away from this family. And the doll says, "Look, I messed that up because I refuse to sell out. I'm not going to be a sellout. I don't want to be famous.
Yeah.
I'm not getting away from this family." So they're having this, there's always this internal monologue between Janus
the doll's
and the
like,
doll.
"I'm true to us. This is what our act's always been."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lee Bane is doing some acting at this point for the first time. I think I've seen 7 films with him now, and I'm seeing him do some acting. The doll blames the agent. The doll says, "Look, the agent should never have given us that audition. He's seen our act. He knows what we do.
Yeah.
That audition was not appropriate for what we are famous for, or what we want to become famous for. So let's make him pay."
Yeah, sure.
Janus says no, and he locks the doll back in the box. Yeah. There's a scene then when Apollo, and we find out what happens to the mother in this family. Apollo and the dad are just discussing the mother. Throwaway scene. And he says, "I don't favour Venus. She's just the only one that reminds me of your mother."
Yeah. And again, this is an effort at acting, inverted commas, and a script.
A bit of script and a bit of story.
And as you say, the dad, Demeus, says, she reminds me of your mother.
I don't favour her in any way.
I love you all the same.
Yeah, she just reminds me of the mother more.
I just don't... Why am I supposed to have sympathy or care about any of these murderers?
Yeah.
Like mass murderers.
Yeah. Although we haven't seen them murder anybody.
No,
yet.
we haven't.
But yeah,
we can't because of budget reasons.
It's implied that that's what these people are. They're not good people.
It's... If this came out in the 80s, it might have had ironically, a bit more money and been like a video nasty.
Yes.
That the Daily Mail would have hated on, and
that's what it's trying to be.
But it can't even be that because we're talking. I mean, I would say shoestring budget, but this movie ain't affording shoestrings.
No, it's not.
There's
loads of little Easter egg call outs to other horror movies in this, and so it's like some of the characters have got names from other horror movies and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
and I think that's what he's going for. It's a homage to the horror movie genre. But it fails quite badly. Because at this point, we're over halfway through this movie now, and we meet 2 new characters that we've never met before.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, just totally dropped in these characters from nowhere.
A guy called Mr. Goldberg, who's looking for his daughter. And Mr. Goldberg apparently is a quite powerful man, because he's employed a hitman.
He has.
Called Duke Enright. And he wants to not only find the people who murdered his daughter. He's done some research of his own. He knows it's this.
Oh yeah,
he knows it's this Midnight Horror Show that's happening.
We've had no mention through any of this that this family's clearly been touring for years and years and years, killing all these people.
Yeah,
there's no mention of them ever being trailed by police or and
the police don't seem to exist in this.
No,
world.
They don't seem to exist. And but this rich guy, Mr. Goldberg, just basically hands this file and says, these people have all gone missing. These people all gone missing, and it lines up with the dates where this show is in town.
Yeah, it's got a very League of Gentlemen vibe to it, hasn't it? It's like Papa Lazaro.
Yes,
it's the same idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
He wants them killed. He's like, he gives Duke. I can't believe there's a character called Duke. He gives Duke a portfolio for all 5 of the family, and he's like, I want them all killed, but I want them to suffer. I don't want them to be killed instantly. Make them suffer. Duke Enright's the greatest hitman in the country, so he's going to do that. Then the agent gets strangled to death.
Yeah, he does.
He's sitting in his chair.
So Janus pays him a visit at home.
The doll strangles him with a rope,
Yeah.
and then Janus comes in and finds the body. And then his wife comes in and finds the body. She also gets murdered.
Yeah.
And then Janus comes in and finds the body, and then he's annoyed that he's got to try and get rid of 2 bodies because he didn't kill them. The doll did.
And he has an argument with himself / the doll as he's trying to sort of clean them up / dismember them in the bath.
Yes. And then there's a scene in this confusing movie where nothing makes sense. There's a scene that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Because Duke Enright is having a meeting in his car with a whistleblower.
Yeah.
It's the only way I can describe him.
A messenger.
Who knows absolutely everything about this.
It was like an employee, like a runner who we got to do some more research.
I think that's what we've got to assume.
He's like assistant.
Yeah. We don't know who this guy is, but he knows everything about this family.
Where the last town they were, where they are currently.
Everything about all the different people in them.
Yeah, he's got police photos of every
single one,
single member of the family.
Yeah, and he hands all this information over to Duke, presumably for money. Yeah, and then he says, "Why is all this plastic in this car?" And Duke just shoots him in the head.
Yeah,
and I was like, who was that, and why have you just murdered him?
He's literally shot the messenger.
Literally, I shot the messenger. It was very confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on there, but he now knows everything about their family. That happens before Janus finds the bodies. Trink then goes to take some flowers to Jenny.
He does,
because he wants to meet her again for a second date. Court her. And when he gets to her house, the boyfriend that he punched earlier is just leaving.
Yeah. She's giving him another chance.
Yes, they kiss and he leaves.
And Trinculo stamps the flowers on the floor.
He stamps on the flowers. He's not a happy clown.
Acting.
He's an angry clown. And then for some reason, Venus goes to a bar just because we needed another set in this film, I think.
Yeah.
She buys a bottle of Jack Daniels and sits in a bar on her own drinking. But who should be sitting in the other corner of this bar but Duke Enright, the master hitman. He just watches her for a little bit and then we cut away. And we cut away because we follow the boyfriend now, Jenny's boyfriend.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
His doorbell rings and there's nobody there. So he goes back. Because for some reason he was out with his girlfriend. He was at her house. And then he went home and watched the telly.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
And presumably she did the same thing.
Yeah.
He rings it again.
Taking it slow, yeah.
The doorbell rings again. And there's nobody there. So he starts going crazy. It's like shouting. You assume it's kids doing knock and run or whatever. Goes back in his house. And Trink's in there, obviously.
Yeah,
snuck in. Dressed as bloody Jason Voorhees now. He's got a sack over his head tied up with a rope. Yeah. That's definitely a homage to Jason. Smashes his head into the door.
Yeah.
Brains him. Yeah, that's where that cuts away at that point. Then Janus is butchering the agent. And
there's a lot of butchering going on.
There's a lot of butchering going on now. He's butchering the agent and his wife in the bath. And then the doll sings a very offensive song.
It does, yeah.
I'm not even going to go through the lyrics of it, but they rhyme with Janus.
It's quite homophobic.
It's very homophobic. Yes, it's not appropriate for this day and age, I don't think. But some of the lyrics rhyme with Janus, let's put it that way. And then Janus drowns the doll in a bath full of blood.
Which we don't, he does, yeah. He's finally snapped. He's had enough of the little thing.
Yeah, he's going to kill this doll. What happens is not what you would expect to happen, but we'll come to that in a minute. Because now we go back to Trink.
He's doing a project.
He's doing a project.
He's doing some sewing.
He's doing some sewing with his sewing machine.
Yeah.
And then in the next scene is in Jenny's house.
Yeah, back over there.
Jenny comes home. Don't know where she's been because she was at home earlier. And now she's coming home.
She had to go out to get.
I think she went to get some
crisps.
Chocolate and wine or something. Yeah. That's what women do, isn't it?
Sure.
When she gets home, none of the lights work, so she comes to a dark house, and Trink's sitting there in the dark, and then suddenly the lamp still works because he turns the lamp on while they're talking.
Yeah, he didn't touch that.
And he is not only wearing the facial skin of Jenny's boyfriend, he's got a full body skin suit on that he's sewed up and made of Jenny's boyfriend because he's the one that she wants to be with, so he'll just become him.
Of course.
Yeah, it's very Texas Chainsaw Massacre now. It's all there's loads of
little. Just knocked it up in an hour or so.
Yeah, skinned a man alive.
Yeah,
and now he's wearing it. And it wasn't a bad costume. It looked like the guy, the face mask did.
Yeah, I mean, within reason, it was
Vince. The guy was called.
Yeah, it was. Well, it was all right.
Yeah, it looked like he was wearing the skin of another human. Yeah. It was fine. I've written in my notes next, she is not freaking out enough.
Nowhere near enough. Like, I would say she's pretty chill about it.
Why is she not screaming and screaming and screaming and running away? Yeah. She's like, oh, that's really creepy. What have you done that for? And it's like, he's wearing the skin of your boyfriend.
Really bad.
She's really bad.
As well.
She's like, I'm going to call the police because you're wearing the skin of my boyfriend. He grabs her, and he wants her to kill him.
Yeah.
He's like, put this knife in me. It'd be really easy. You just have to fall forward a little bit and the knife will go in me. But she can't, so she just collapses to the floor. And I'm not even sure we ever see her again.
No, because I didn't know, like, had he accidentally killed her in the struggle?
I don't think so.
And then, we just,
It's the second time she gets knocked out.
Lying on the floor.
Yeah. But I don't think we ever see her again.
No, I don't think we do.
Duke then joins Venus for a drink. He gives her a bit of a chat up line and joins her for a bit of a JD that she's brought. And we see Janus again, but Janus is not Janus anymore.
No.
Janus is now the human form of the doll.
He is.
It did have a name and it's bugging me that I didn't write it down. But everybody's just accepted this.
Yeah, no one says, why are you doing the doll impression?
I assume it's because that's how he is. And we've never seen that. We've always seen it from the doll and his perspective.
I think so.
But everybody else has always seen him talking.
Like his family are used to sometimes he's himself, sometimes he's the doll.
Exactly. Nobody mentions it anyway, and he's now full-time become the doll. Janus has left the building. And then this film just happens now. The end just happens because suddenly all the family are just captured.
Yeah.
And it's just... Venus is tied up in Duke's boot. Duke's boot is a funny thing to say. And
I'd have a pint in a Duke's boot.
The Duke's boot is a great name for a pub.
But it'd have to be in Scotland.
The Duke's boot. That wasn't Scottish. Yes, she's tied up in the Duke's boot. Not the pub, the car. And then I've written here, there's a montage of the rest of the family being taken out.
Yeah.
These characters that we've lived with for the last hour get captured in a montage, a 30-second montage, all of them. Janus and Trink are tied up on a table, face down, and being whipped. Everybody's being tortured now at this point.
No, there was one... There was one bit where Duke makes a phone call and he's like, grabber.
Yes.
And what was one was called Grabber, and I can't remember what his other henchman was
he had
called.
Two henchmen.
Like Creeper.
I think it was Creeper and Grabber.
I've got a job for you. Come and meet me at the...
I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, you're right. So Janus and Trink, they've been tied up and they're being whipped by one of these henchmen.
Yeah.
Apollo is being drowned in a Tupperware box full of water. It's an old ice cream tub.
Yeah. Surely we could have stretched to a bigger...
Yeah, at least get like a bucket.
Yeah, a bucket. Or a... It's literally a child's lunchbox.
Yeah, it's an ice cream tub. It's a 1 litre tub full of water that the guy's just holding his head down and drowning. I mean, it's an embarrassing way to die if you're going to drown in a Tupperware box.
It's not the most cinematic.
No, it's really not the most
choice to make.
Duke has the doctor tied up to a chair. Well, I thought he was tied up to a chair, but it's revealed later he isn't. And he shows the doctor a picture of Carolyn Goldberg, who's the girl that they're looking for.
Yeah.
Who incidentally is not Angela, which it should have been. I don't know. And Duke says to him, "Look, her dad's a powerful man. He's paid me to do this. There's no way you've got enough money to pay me otherwise. So you're probably going to die tonight, and all of your kids are as well."
And Damus is kind of
he gets
accepting in sort of, well, this was going to happen eventually. Yeah. You know, there will be actions for my consequences for my actions.
But he says to Duke, "You're no better than me. You get off on killing as well. You're enjoying this. Yeah. I can see it in your eyes that you're enjoying this." And Duke doesn't like that. He doesn't like being called out for it. He's like, "I'm just getting paid for it. This is my job."
Yeah.
But Duke's like, "No, you're enjoying this." And he says it. Duke calls him a psycho, and he takes one to no one.
Yes, I think that line's used a couple of times. Takes one to know.
We all kill because we enjoy it. I hated this next scene. Duke's two henchmen have now gone outside for a vape and a cigarette.
And they're just on their break from work.
Yeah, it's like they're on their lunch break. Yeah. They're just discussing their life and how we need to get this over and done with quickly.
It'd be like if two stormtroopers, we just followed them outside to be like, watched anything good on TV recently?
One thing I've not mentioned in this, and we haven't mentioned this, is pretty much everybody in it is Welsh. So there's loads of the Welsh accent there's lots of... The Welsh accent is funny. It just is. And these two guys, this was an attempt at humour in this not funny film. This film's not trying to be funny all the way through. But this one scene is an attempt at humour that's really, really stands out.
And it's like, I better hurry up. I've told the missus
I've got to get back to the missus.
7. I've got to bath the kids or whatever.
Yeah, it's a strange choice.
It's really tone deaf, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. So they go back in. They're like, right, let's just go and finish these guys off. So the first one, I don't know which one it was, but he goes back into Apollo. Remember, Apollo's all chained up because he's about to be drowned in a Tupperware box?
Yeah.
What? Don't chain up a magician.
No, not an escapologist. Yeah, don't chain up Magic Ian.
Apollo's managed to... Magic Ian. That's a great name for him. Why has nobody ever used that? Apollo's managed to get himself through whilst the guys have been out. And he reverses the thing, I guess, and just drowns the guy in the Tupperware box. Yeah. Holds the guy's head down and the guy drowns in less than an inch of water.
He had a family.
He did have a family. We just found out about them. I swear he could have drank what was in that tub.
You could. you could have drunk what was in the tub before you drowned.
Yeah.
Sure of it.
Absolutely. But he gets through. He then goes and basically murders the other guy straight away.
Yeah.
He was whipping Janus and Trink.
Yeah.
He murders him and unties Janus and Trink. And then he's like, right, I'm going to go and rescue Venus.
Was she on like a rack?
I think she was on a torture rack. Yeah, she was being stretched. Because Duke was enjoying that one. He was a bit of a perv, I think. But he cuts her free and it's like, let's team up. Let's go and help Dad. Because these two have been bickering and arguing all the way through. This is their redemption moment.
Together as a family.
Let's work together
brother
as
and
a
sister.
Team. We've forgotten about the other two. They're just untying themselves. We don't need to worry about them.
Who actually both would probably be quite handy in a fight.
Both are psychopaths. And he even gives Venus his knife. He's like, here.
And she goes, what weapon are you going to use? And he puts his hands up and like, these two bad boys.
I think that's exactly what he says. They instantly find the dad because he's just in the caravan, tied to a chair. Duke's in there. He's got a gun to the dad's head.
Oh, he's nailed to the chair.
He's nailed to the chair. That was coming to that. You've ruined my surprise.
Sorry.
So they instantly find them straight away. And the knife that Venus has got, I'm not kidding you, is...
It's a butter knife.
It's 1 inch long. It's like a pen knife. But she's a knife thrower.
Yeah.
So she throws it straight into Duke, and Duke collapses.
But he dies from a knife to the shoulder.
Yeah, well, he doesn't. Yeah,
but he bleeds from like the heart.
She misses completely and hits him like in the shoulder.
Hits him in the collarbone, and this guy's like gone straight away. Gone. It really made me laugh. And this huge like blood splosh right above his heart, and the knife's still in his shoulder.
Yeah. This is where we find out the dad's actually nailed to the chair because he's a preacher man. He's into Jesus and stuff. That's why they've done that. They pull the nails out just for a grisly scene that we need. And they get him up and they're like, the dad's like, right, we need to get away from here. We need to get out of here. Let's go. Gets up, instantly gets shot by Duke.
Yeah.
Because Duke's not quite dead yet because he only got hit in the shoulder. I'm surprised it even took him off his feet.
The butter knife.
But then he does die from the knife in the shoulder because Apollo goes frenzy mode on him. He grabs this little tiny knife and he just... He's like... 100 times he must have stabbed this guy.
But it just looked like he was shaking him to death. Yeah, the knife was so small in his hand. You couldn't really see it.
The dad then dies in Venus's arms with the immortal line, "The show must go on." And he tells Apollo that he would like him to be the new host of the show.
Yeah.
And then Apollo approaches the screen very much the same way that the Doctor did at the beginning of the movie. And he basically does the show's outro. Thank you for watching the Midnight Horror Show.
There's applause.
There's mad applause from the 4 people that were there watching it at the beginning.
Mad applause.
You have been watching the Midnight Horror Show. Applause. The end. And then the fucking awesome tune plays again for about 5 minutes. And that is the end of your movie. What do you think, Nick?
It's fucking garbage. It's so bad.
It's bad. It is.
It's like... It's so bad.
I think what we knew from this week's film is that we were all going to agree that this is a terrible movie.
Yeah.
We knew that going in. Everybody knows what they're getting from
But I knew I was going to have a good time talking about it.
Exactly. And you have had a good time talking about it. What I will say is that I've seen 7 of Andrew Jones's movies now.
Yeah.
This is the best one.
Really?
Yes.
Do you think? Because I think I was thinking about this today.
I
might have preferred Werewolves of the Third Reich.
No way. There's no way. There's an argument that the first Robert film's better. There's an argument that the last Robert film's better.
Yeah, the first Robert was,
But I personally think this is the best one. But it's literally the best of a bad bunch because all 7 of them are shocking.
I think this is worse than Werewolves.
I don't. I genuinely don't. I think this is... There's just something more charming about this one.
There's no charm in this movie.
There's no charming werewolves. It's a terrible...
No, I agree.
We're arguing over... They're both terrible movies. They both literally are awful movies. But we knew that going in. We knew that going in this time, whereas we didn't with werewolves.
I don't understand who I'm supposed to... Surely I'm supposed to root for someone.
No, I don't think you are.
What's the point?
Do you remember when we watched... right back in season 1, we watched Murder Party?
Yes.
That was the same sort of thing. Everybody in that is a psycho and they're all killers. And nobody in there was... You weren't rooting for anybody.
He was just there by accident.
Yeah, he was. But you weren't rooting for him at any point.
No, I don't know if I was rooting for him, but he was...
But this has got Duke Enright in it. You're rooting for Duke Enright then, surely.
Well, you say that, but yeah, I wanted to see him kill the family.
Yes. And you did get to see that.
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't. You didn't get to see him kill anybody.
No. He's the world's best hitman.
Best hitman in the UK.
He killed one guy, and the guy didn't even deserve it.
Yeah, I don't even know who that guy was. And then gets killed by a knife in the shoulder. But I think Murder Party is the closest thing you can compare this to that we've done. I think it's a similar vibe.
Except that was funny, and you could do stuff.
It's also terrible.
Yeah, but you could do jokes because you could. There's just.
I'm not.
I'm trying not to be too harsh because I understand the absolute limitations of this movie.
Yeah,
but you can't do anything. You can't. A guy drowns in a. Ice cream. Oh my god! You can't tell me that
I'm not going to sit and defend this movie.
One of the people in this movie must have had a better knife than the knife they chose to kill Duke Enright.
The very first scene in this movie, Apollo has got a machete.
Yeah, when they're doing the
and a sword
magic box
and a sword, and he also uses that little knife to go in the box. I'm not going to sit here and defend this movie. This movie's
I know you know. Yeah,
diabolical. It's terrible. I'm also not going to say that I didn't have any fun watching it because I had a lot of fun watching it.
I didn't.
It's just. But I love movies like this. I live for movies like this. I was watching this thinking I'm really enjoying this because I know Nick isn't, and I really know that's a lot of. I'm going to have a lot of fun with this.
But I think it's basic.
I'd watch movies like this all day if I could.
Surely the least I should expect from a movie is to be able to hear it.
Yeah.
Like story limitations.
The two basics of a movie is: can I see it? Can I hear it?
Yeah,
that's your basics.
I'm not sure.
Then you go with story. Then you go with characters. Blah blah blah. It didn't meet the second one.
No.
At some points, it was really dark.
Oh, what a trip!
Oh,
jeez.
Are you glad you've watched it?
No, I think I preferred the other ones of his I've seen.
I genuinely really because I definitely didn't.
This was just nonsensical to me.
I think this is the best one of his movies I've seen.
I'll tell you what I will give it. I think this is the best idea of his movies.
Yes, okay, yes, that's fair. Let's go into that a little bit because there's a potential story here.
Yeah. I think there's a glimmer of with a bit of money and flair and locations and talent of act in front of the camera. You could have added like a flashback, a sort of retro video nasty type thing.
Yeah. I definitely think some of those characters have got potential.
I'm not sure I can praise a movie that didn't get made. That's the problem.
You can't rate a movie on its potential, what it potentially could have been.
Yeah.
Although I'm sure we have done that at some points
probably,
in the past.
Probably.
I think we did it with Tales of a White-tailed Deer Hunter a few weeks ago. We said that this movie's a lot better in somebody else's hands.
Yeah.
This movie's a lot better in somebody else's hands. There's some good ideas here. There's some good characters here. I honestly think that clown character's really good. I like the fact that this guy's like a shy, retiring, murderous clown. I like that. But then there's a potential there for a character. It's not realised in this film at all.
Yeah.
But
what can you, at the end of the day, what can you do in an hour and 15 minutes to build these 5 families? You can't do anything.
No, you can't.
You there's no fat to trim.
And we know.
There's no script.
We know for a fact as well that these movies, the sort of people who make these movies have no passion for making these movies. We've seen this firsthand. They're literally production lines. If somebody says, "Can you make me a movie?
Clown horror movie."
Yeah. So somebody makes a clown horror movie. Yeah. That's what's happening here. There's no passion for. This is the movie I've always wanted to make. Yeah. I think the passion in Andrew Jones's career was probably the Robert movies because he made 5 of them. They're not good, but I think that was probably his. This is what I want to be doing. This isn't the movies he wanted to be making, but it was just the money he was getting paid to make a movie like this. And this is what's come out.
What year? How old did you say it was?
2014.
I mean, it just looks awful as well, doesn't it? It looks, awful quality.
It's filmed in a car park in Swansea.
Yeah. With
5 people who just want to be in a movie.
On a phone.
And basically on a digital camera.
Yeah.
There's no sound crew. There can't possibly have been a proper professional microphone on set. I reckon these 2 microphones that we've got are much better than what they were using.
100%.
Much better than what we were using. Yeah, it's not a good movie. But I genuinely do think it's the best one of his movies I've seen so far. And it won't be the last one of his movies I watch. I'm sure of
I'm sure it won't be the last one I saw. I didn't enjoy watching it. I think I enjoyed is a very strange way to throw around with these movies. I think I got more out of Werewolves of the Third Reich as I'm trawling my memories.
I definitely didn't. I didn't like that movie at all. I think that makes a lot less sense than this one does. I think, and the Robert movies are not good either.
Why are they killing people?
Because they're psychos.
But just okay. Fine.
One's a psycho clown. One's a psycho knife thrower. One's a psycho magician. One's a psycho ringmaster. One's a psycho ventriloquist. Yeah. Simple as that, and they all just happen to be in one family of murderers.
All right. If you want me to leave it on a positive, I'd say I don't see how Andrew Jones could have done a better job.
No, I agree.
With this movie,
I agree. What's the best thing about it? It's the theme tune, Nick.
Good God. I don't know if there's anything good about this movie.
It's the theme tune.
The doll, as in just the doll looks a bit weird, and it's probably the best prop.
Can we say it's the potential for what it could have been? It's the best thing about this movie.
If you want it, that or the doll.
It's the name.
I do love the fact that the doll in this movie is better than any of the dolls in the 5 movies that he made about an actual killer doll.
Absolutely. I think the best thing about this movie is the name Trinculo for a clown is brilliant. What would you change about this movie, Nick? Cut a character, focus on some of the others, give it a bit more budget, and you've got potentials there, I reckon.
I don't know if you needed Magic Ian.
You can cut a character.
The sibling arguments just didn't add anything.
No. You could probably cut him and Venus. Just have the clown, the ventriloquist, and the dad.
Yeah.
3's plenty, 5's too many.
It is when you're playing with basically an hour-long movie.
Yeah. Because those 2 don't do anything. Janus gets his audition piece, and
did you even need any plot?
Famous. No.
Why did we even need the whole hitman thing, who doesn't come in until the last 20 minutes? If you've just been ordered on spec to make a movie about killer circuses or whatever, you just make a movie about them killing people.
Yeah,
and
you don't need.
But someone nearly escapes. Why do you need a hitman thing? He's the worst hitman in the.
Why isn't it even a cop?
Yeah,
well, probably didn't have a cop uniform.
That's.
That brings us to the stream table.
Life is anymore.
That brings us to the stream table. What are you thinking? Do you want me to read from the bottom?
You can do if you want to.
This is the 14th film to be entering into the stream table.
Optimistic.
Currently at the bottom of the stream is a film called Smart Christmas. 12 is Needle in a Time Stack. 11 is Another Round. 10 is The Mansion. 9 is The Ledge. 8 is Take the 10. 7 is The Cleanse. 6 is You Are Not My Mother, last week's movie. 5 is The Giver. 4 is Double World. 3 is The Legacy of a White-tailed Deer Hunter. 2 is Nature Reborn. And currently number 1 is Old People. Where does this one go?
So for me, I don't think I think it's close. I don't think it's worse than Smart Christmas. Well, it's really hard to compare when that is a Bulgarian made-for-TV musical Christmas movie. But that was boring. Yeah. That was more boring than this.
Yeah.
And it had that rap battle in, which is...
Very true.
Weirdly, probably still the worst musical crime we've seen in this season.
Yeah.
Even after the Midnight Horror Show. I don't think I can genuinely put it any higher than that, though. I think it's 13th out of 14.
That's exactly where I expected you to go. I would go one place higher. I think it's more entertaining than Needle in a Time Stack was. I think that's really boring. And
it is boring.
It's a dreadful movie.
But it's also a movie, if you remember, where we sort of said there was kind of a good idea there somewhere.
Yeah.
You just didn't
realise it. So it's similar to this. I would personally like it to go there, but are we prepared to have this argument?
Well, I gave up some last week, so
you did. So you're not going to this week?
No, I think we'll put it 13th. Thank you very much.
I got accused this week of gaslighting you during the stream table discussion last week. I was mortified by that. I don't think I did that. And so I'm not going to do it this week. If you want to put it there, that is fine. That's where it can go. I personally would have it one place higher.
If it makes you feel any better,
go on.
It's it's separated by one movie from an Oscar-winning movie.
That's very true.
So,
that is very true. Yeah. How is another round so far down? That's crazy. Yeah, 13th.
13th out of 14.
Lucky 13th.
Yeah.
I'm not going to win.
That's apt, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so.
This movie is 13. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'd have had it. I definitely think I would have had it one place higher, but I will cash in on your...
I tell you what, though. I've really enjoyed talking about it.
Me too.
I knew it'd be a fun episode.
Always. Whenever the movies are like that, we have so much fun with them.
Yeah.
They're the sort of movies we wanted to be doing when we started the show. And that's the sort of movie we have done. So, shall we pick another one?
Let's do it. Are we back to the randomizer this week?
I believe so. Nobody has told me they want to play their wild card.
I am not playing my wild card.
You are not playing the wild card. So, yes, we are back to the randomizer. What would you like to get out of the randomizer? We need to move away from horror for a little bit.
We've had a couple of horrors, haven't we?
In the last few weeks.
Yeah, I'm an open book.
Yeah?
Give me what you got.
Up for anything?
Come on, Robin. Lay it on me.
Robin has picked us a movie called The Decline.
Okay.
Any ideas?
I think, and I'm only going on the fact that I think I can remember the thumbnail from being on our long list, is that it sets in a snowy environment.
You are not wrong. That is very true. The thumbnail does have some snow in it.
Okay.
It was released in 2020. It's only an hour and 23 minutes long, and it is a Netflix original. Do you want the synopsis?
I would love it.
According to IMDb, it is an action thriller.
Okay.
6 devoted fans of an extreme remote survivalist trainer are invited to his expansive secret compound for a time of personal mentoring. When a tragic accident leaves one person dead and the survivalist experience transforms into something none of them saw coming.
Oh.
Sounds exciting.
That was, but yeah, it does. This sounds quite good.
French-Canadian.
Okay.
We've had some success with French-Canadian films on this show, or one French-Canadian film on this show. So hopefully it will follow in the footsteps of Bon Cop, Bad Cop.
Yeah.
Which I remember you liking a lot more than I did.
Yeah. I did.
So yeah, go out and watch The Decline, and we'll come back next week. No, I've not done the socials. Go out and watch The Decline, and in the meantime, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd at BOTS_podcast. If you want to drop us an email, our email address is bottomofthestream@gmail.com, and our website is bottomofthestream.com. On the website, you will find every episode we've ever recorded, all the stream tables, loads of other cool stuff, and you can even get some merch if you want to buy a Bottom of the Stream
tool belt.
Tool belt? I could do with a tool belt. That'd be really handy.
You just call it a belt, don't you?
You did. But yes, I do. After you've done all of that, head over to Patreon, patreon.com/bottom of the stream. On there for a couple of quid every month, you will get early access to episodes. You'll get bonus episodes. You will get a newsletter that Nick writes every month. And if you come in at the top level, you will get a wild card, which means you can do what I did this week. Pick a movie. We'll talk about it. And if you pick the best one of the season, you'll win a prize. After you've done all of that, head over to Discord. The Discord link will be in the show notes. In the Discord, you will find lots of really cool people, lots of movie lovers, lots of people who will talk to you about anything. We play games, we do watch-alongs, we do all sorts of cool shit in there. Come along and join the Discord. The Discord link is in the show notes.
Please do. It is a good, fun time, and we're all about making new friends.
Absolutely.
And meeting new people.
Yeah.
And talking about whatever the hell we want to talk about in there, quite frankly.
Exactly.
And if you can spare a few minutes, please consider leaving us a rating or review anywhere you can review and rate podcasts, because that also helps get our name out there and puts our show in more people's ears. You can do that on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. You can do that on Podchaser, Podbean. You can do it on iHeartRadio. You can do that on Pandora and many, many more podcast places.
Pretty much all the podcast places.
Yeah.
And if we're not on one that you find, let us know and we'll get on it.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, do all of that.
Good stuff.
I've forgotten what I was going to say. Do all of that and then go out and watch The Decline. And we'll be back on Monday for another episode of The Wave and next Thursday for the movie show.
Cheers.
Bye.